Thanks for joining me again. I thought today I'd try some like a sunrise type scene. So I'm just going to start off wetting the paper all over, and then get a raw sienna down there, a lemon yellow. It's gone a bit green, but not to worry. There was a bit of light red, a bit of lemon yellow, create sort of orangey colour. Sit there like that. A bit more yellow on its own. I'm going to clean the brush. I'm just going to go into ultramarine. Bring that down there like that. More across this end. More ultramarine. Just using the large Ron Ranson hake. Just wondering why that's still. I'll just take out. Well, probably better with a round brush actually. Well, I could take it out afterwards. It's like this is meant to be the sun. He's just going to be poking his head over the. Just over the hill. Yeah. I don't know how this is going to work. No. I'm just going to leave that like that for now, I think. So an ultramarine, so the alizarin crimson, a bit of Payne's grey, a few little clouds scattered about there. On the other side. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to put that horizon line in. I'm going to take those same, well I'm going to go raw sienna, a bit of light red, a bit of lemon yellow, a bit of ultramarine, and then imagine, so that's the sun there, and he's just poking his head just over the horizon. Clean the brush, just get a little bit light on this side. Going over there like that. That's that first layer. Want the next one a bit dark so that it contrasts. So I'm just going to go ultramarine, lemon yellow, Payne's grey, and then just put a darker layer in. Right over there like that. Clean the brush. Now in the interest of variation, let's go back to light. Raw sienna, bit of lemon yellow. Back to light. Might put a little path in there, just to add a little interest to this sort of foreground area. So if we just go light red and a bit of blue, and then the path, if it just sort of starts up there and then just wanders around and goes off like that, something like that. Just makes it a little bit more interesting. Clean the brush, back to lemon yellow, just push that up to the path. A bit more on the side. Need somewhere about here. In fact, before I do any more, I'm just going to pull it tight. See how the paper's stretched a little bit. So I'm just going to pull it tight so it's flat against the canvas, against the plywood that it's clipped to. Watch the little pools of water building up at the bottom. I'm just going to use a tissue just to take that away. You can use a brush as well if you like. You can always put a few rocks by the edge of the path just to... No, I won't. I'll leave it as it is, I think. I want to put a tree up here. So I'm going to switch to the little brush, little rigger brush or whatever this is called. I think the rigger ones are actually meant to be a little bit longer. I didn't quite get what I was after when I went into the art store. I have to pay it a visit again. So I'm just going sort of burnt umber and ultramarine. A bit more water. Doesn't hold anywhere near the brush, the water that the paint holds, obviously. And then I might need to dry it first. In fact, I think I will. I'm just going to give it a quick dry first. Make sure this is flat, and then I'll just pop a little tree in. And again, burnt umber, bit of ultramarine blue, dark chunky colour, and then up there somewhere. And then flicking up the little twigs and branches, and then what I'll do once I've got the main skeleton in, I'll just use a sort of dry out brush just to bash in some leaves. So first I'm just going to make sure this out brush is dry, squeeze the water out and just scuff it up on the tea towel so that it's nice and dry, and then just dip into some bit of burnt umber, bit of ultramarine. You see, because it's dry then I can just bash that in a little bit without any fear of it just blocking in. Try and get a little bit darker. That'll do for that, I think. I want to give the impression of a few bits of grasses growing and whatnot. So just in there, that's a bit too dry, I can't quite get the paint off the brush. And you see just bits of grass growing everywhere. It's going to have to be dry because I'm going to put some shadows in. So clean the brush, just use those same colours again, burnt umber, ultramarine, make our shadowy colour. So imagine the sun's over there, so it's sort of casting a shadow this way, so it's sort of coming off the tree like that, and then a few little bits and bobs. And imagine there's someone over here casting a shadow across there like that. What's that look like? Have I made it better or worse? I'm not too sure, to be honest with you. Back to the little brush. I'm going to stick a little bird. Little bird somewhere up here. I'm just going to sign that one down there somewhere. Let's see what it looks like with the mount on. This is our painting with the mount on, so if you go and have a closer look at it. Starting with the sky, this area here where we got the sun just popping its head over the horizon line. It was various mixes of raw sienna, lemon yellow and light red. While it was still wet, I just took that sun shape out with a clean dry brush. Well, the area of the sky is predominantly ultramarine blue. And here you can see a bit of a Payne's grey, alizarin crimson, just to create these clouds drifting across the sky behind the trees. And for our sort of distant land here, use the same colours in the sky to make the clouds. Might have been better if that was a bit darker actually, just to create a greater contrast. So I just slightly lighter, just lemon yellow for the green of the distant fields. Another plane here, I did put this one in darker just to help with the contrast and differentiate between the different fields, create a bit more depth. And then could have done with maybe a bit more variation as we come closer and closer. A bit more variation in the greens, I think. It's all very, very similar. Not sure if the tree might have worked better, sort of silhouetted against the sun over on this side. I think sort of the way the land lies, I think it's better balanced here. Maybe the sun should have risen on this side here. Got a little shadow put in here, and then a bit more shadow on this side. Light red and ultramarine just to create this path winding off into the distance. Could have put a figure there maybe, I suppose. For itself, just use the little brush. Sometimes I use the hake to put the tree skeleton in. And then a bit of dry brushwork just to create these bit of foliage. Got our little bird there, just adding a bit of life to the scene. So it's just a simple little sunrise. But before I go, I might just answer a few of the viewers' questions. Peter Zirkle asks here, getting the colours right seems to be the most difficult part. To be honest, I've never really tried getting the exact colours. If you're having trouble in general, I'll try and stick to as few colours as I possibly can. I think this palette is 7, always use the same 7 colours. Raw sienna, burnt umber, light red, ultramarine, lemon yellow, Payne's grey, alizarin crimson. Always go them the same way round as well, so I know instinctively where they are. The fewer colours, the easier it is to create harmonious variations in your painting of the colours. Just try 2 or 3 and see how you get on. There's so many different, honestly, the number of different variations you can get just from 2 or 3 colours, you'll be surprised. Also with not just mixing the colours themselves, but the amount of the different amounts of water that you use can make a huge difference. So that would be my advice. If you're having trouble getting harmonious colours, just reduce the number that you use on your palette. So ZZ asks, why do you usually use this dimension paper, and does this composition work on the usual landscape paper dimensions? I always use 15 by 11 Fabriano for no other reason than it's cheap. I get it in blocks of 100 for £32. It's only 30 odd per sheet. Every time I try and buy the stuff in the shops, it's about £1 a sheet, and when I'm only getting £4 or £5 on eBay for a painting, I'm reluctant to spend much on materials, to be honest with you. I've mentioned on comments on videos recently. I think I can best improve. It's more from brush strokes and tonal values rather than better materials. I think I've got all the materials there. I think I can create better paintings than this without having to use more expensive gear. Is what I'm trying to get at. So 15 by 11 is my size. Does it work on other paper dimensions? You can crop the scene. I mean, there's so many different ways you could crop the same scene and still create a nice painting. People sometimes use cards, like a mount like this, but a little bit smaller, and so you can frame it. Just look through the hole in the card, just so you can frame painting. Just look around, looking for various compositions. There's different ways of doing it. So yeah, this is your usual landscape style, or you can try square. Sometimes people try round paintings. You're just limited by your imagination, really. Marianne asks, why does your height brush stay together so good while you're painting? The ones I'm trying are all fluffy on the end. Now, I've tried to simulate that, so I'm assuming you're talking something like that, the way all their hairs just seem to fray like that. This probably isn't a good example because this one's now well worn. I think I need a new brush now. I think they're normally about that long there, and they just wear down over time. But see what I do, the easiest way, if you just get your water, just dip the very tips into the water and then just take off the excess like that, and it just brings them all back together again. Like I say, if this was a newer brush, I'd be able to get, I can't quite get a chisel edge with this now because it's getting so worn. But that's all I do, just dip the tips, just the very, only a couple of mil, less than that, and then just take the excess off like that, and it just brings all the hairs back together. And then if there's too much water, just wipe it on a tea towel, which I've always got in my other hand. You just sort of, then just wipe that on the tea towel, and you've got a sort of nice, clean, dryish brush with a chisel edge then. Although, like I say, it would be a lot sharper if, you know, I've got one. So you know, this is the big one, the extra large hake. You can see the difference in size there. Now I did a painting with that the other day, but I've used this about once in a blue moon really. You see, I've just chopped the handle size down. The only reason I've done that was originally when I was putting it in the little travel bag I've got. And the bag was only that wide, so I just cut it down. I just got used to using it that small like that, rather than have a big bit sticking up there. I don't know. Like I said, I've got to get a new brush, so I'll just see how it goes when I get the new one. And then finally, Richard mentions that Hobbycraft. I know I've mentioned in the past, people ask where do you get the trays from? Now you can get them on eBay. If you search for inking trays. I bought this one from Hobbycraft. I don't know if they do them in other countries, but in the UK, he mentions he bought one the other day for £1. So nice and light. It's just very plastic, lightweight, so you can hold it in your hand. It's not going to make your arm ache or anything like that. I bought one like this because I noticed Ron Ranson used one very similar, but his was bigger, and I did try and get a bigger one. I mean, it was probably come down to about there, a lot bigger than this, but I couldn't see them. But next time I'm on Hobbycraft, I'll see if they do the big ones. Probably don't, but I can try. Anyway, hope you liked all that. Thanks for watching. Any questions, keep them coming. Keep practicing, and I'll see you again soon.